Welcome to the luncheonette. Today we have a very special guest, Miss Lauren Lewis. Can you do the clapping thing? Yeah.
Yes. There we go.
Yeah, we love the buzzer. That's new. But if you haven't been tuning in or been under a rock for a number of months, Lauren has been a big part of this podcast. But more importantly, she's been doing the video, and she also does pictures and stuff like that for Southern Fellows. So we're going to talk a little bit about photos and maybe how artists can improve their photos for social media and videos and all that good stuff that can help them out during whatever they're doing to promote music or having fun with friends and family. So welcome back.
Thank you.
It's all about you today. She's very
no.
nervous about this. So, but it's your turn in the hot seat. So we're both glad about that. So
Yeah.
it's fun. So tell us a little bit about how you got into photography and all that good stuff.
I was probably a kid, maybe like 6 or 7, and my mom was always into photography, so they got me a little point and shoot camera, and I probably had 2 of those over the course of a few years. And then once I was probably 14, they bumped me up to like a DSLR, and I was so excited, and I'd take pictures of my cats and all my pets and nature shots. I loved that. Once I was in high school, I would take pictures of my friends, like them and their boyfriend or whatever.
Can see that, yeah.
So I started doing that, and then trying to think, I guess once I came to Florida, I knew some people and got into taking photos of rental properties and upgraded my gear, and then a year and a half ago decided to start my own business. And started with real estate, and then I met you, and then I got into all the music stuff, and
It's been downhill ever since. I'm
Yeah.
telling you that
Did
right
you
now.
like taking pictures of bands or like moving things before? Like, there's sports photography and like music photography, and I don't know a single thing about photography, but I can imagine those are so different from real estate.
yeah, it's definitely the perk of real estate is you don't have anybody complaining that they have a double chin. The house doesn't complain about what it looks like. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of taking photos of people. So it surprises me that I love taking music photos, but it's somebody, they're singing, they're playing guitar, they're doing whatever. It's something they're passionate about, and it's less about the pose look. And I like that aspect.
That's cool.
The first
That's
time I
true.
actually took like band pictures, I was probably like 19, and it was at a Moose Lodge or like an Eagles Club or whatever. And it was this band that somebody I knew was playing.
How
there,
old
and
was this band?
the guys were like my parents' age at this point. It's probably like in their 40s. And it was like, I mean, the pictures weren't that great. Like looking back now, like I don't know where those pictures are at now, but if I saw them, I'd probably be embarrassed because my gear wasn't as good as it is now. But yeah, it was interesting. It was low light. It was lights moving, and yeah.
Yeah, we were just editing some photos, both of us, before we got on here, and I know all about the tricky lighting. What are some ways that people can kind of work with? I know you use a lot more Photoshop than I do. I mostly do everything through, what is it?
Lightroom.
Lightroom. I mostly do everything through Lightroom. So what are some tips and tricks that you have for people that might have, are in that tricky situation with stage lighting?
Ooh.
I know every photo is different. But
If you're in good with the lighting people, tell them to not use the red lights. I hate red lights.
red line's the hardest thing to edit.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like people's skin turns pink real quick when I'm trying to fix that. But I don't know. I guess just kind of watch it. And I guess sometimes if you watch the lighting, there's a routine to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of the same thing over and over. So if I see a good lighting angle, I know it'll be back again in a couple seconds when the
Do you mean
light's
like
been
live
around.
or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So now I get it. Yeah.
Like stage lights. So
Yeah.
like the look. on
Remember
stage.
when the Rockin' Ranch had, I think they still do, nothing but red lights?
Oh, yes.
That's-
Yes.
And you,
I got a lot of
bad-
pictures.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of pictures I did not. I never posted. I'll put it that way. Yeah. Oh yeah,
And
and like the whole place is red too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the smaller venues, they seem to like that red.
The
lighting.
red, just like they think. I guess they think it's like hot. It's like moody or whatever, you know.
And it can be fun if you're just like watching the show, but as someone who's trying to document it, I'm like, no, why?
So why is that? Is like, does red, like, all I know is just like Instagram filter like level of filters or whatnot. But like, is that like when you're changing the tint, it's just still always going to be red or something?
In Lightroom, there's sliders for each color.
Mm-hmm.
So on the red slider, I can bring it down, but then like if I do it to you, you're just gonna look black and white.
Nice.
Like there's
it leaves a lot
left.
of empty color when you try to take out the red.
Oh, okay.
For other colors, it's not so bad.
It's not as bad. I don't know if red too, because our blood is flowing and we all have like a little pink undertones.
yeah,
If maybe
you're right.
that makes it. I don't know the science behind it. I just know it drives me nuts.
Well, yeah, red just might make you look alive. And
Yeah.
without it, you just look like kind of dead.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in college at Daytona State, a lot of the photography people needed to use me. They were like, my assignment says find the palest person you can find with red hair and just try to photograph them.
Oh,
it's going to
yeah.
be hard. And everyone's like, can we use you?
I was just telling Patrick, every time we take photos in here after a podcast, like when I'm trying to adjust the colors because the light is coming straight down on us.
Yeah.
Half of us will be wearing a hat, the other half won't.
Oh, yeah,
and
you're
then
right. It's
your
hard.
hair will be so like fire red, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh god, what just happened? So I gotta like go back and fix it because I'm like, this
Sorry.
isn't what it looks like in real life. So
It's
That's
our
funny.
goal every day to make your life difficult. So
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think there's a really big problem. Like I used to think it was prejudice, and then now I think it's just for technique. There's not a lot of redheads in like movies. You know what I mean? And I think that's because it's so hard to just capture it without making it look way like your head's on fire or you're dead and everyone's dead. And like I've always thought of this too. I don't know, we're off topic, but I've always thought of this. Name one movie where the male redheaded character gets the girl.
you're probably gonna have to go watch an Irish movie.
I think so. I'm talking about, it's not only that. He has to be the heartthrob. He has to be the guy that the girl's like. I've never seen a movie. I've never seen it. But anyway, I used to think it was, they're like, Hollywood just doesn't like redheaded people. I think it's just because like the color balance.
Yeah, that's true.
So-
I can't imagine trying to do it on video too. Like we were talking about that earlier too, trying to fix something on a video or a photo. It's easier to fix lighting in a photo.
mhm.
I mean, you could do it in a video.
Mhm.
I'm not that skilled, but it's
Yes, you
possible.
are.
but I think we were kind of talking about this earlier too, about the use of AI and how I've had a little bit more luck with it than you. I do like Lightroom has a lot of good professional filters now. So they actually have someone they actually have a filter for like light skin, like red hair.
Mhm.
So you can click on it and you can kind of get a start. I've never like just clicked on one of those things and been like, oh, that's it. You know, I've
Yeah.
always had to make a little bit more adjustments, but it gets you close. It gets you very close. And because without that, you would have spent another, 30 minutes to an hour just doing all these
Wow.
like granular adjustments to try to make everything work. But I think that the applications, both on your phone, Instagram, and the professional applications like Lightroom or Photoshop are getting a little bit better at doing that. And a lot of it has to do with AI. They're just doing a lot of photo compensation and stuff like
Right.
that. And it's doing really good. So I know a lot of people complain about AI, but it has helped me a lot, quite a bit.
That's
getting
cool.
out of a lot of situations.
I say
And,
there's perks to it. I can see where it could be a bad thing
Yeah.
eventually, but
Mhm.
well, everything can be a bad.
well,
you know.
yeah.
You know, I wonder if like you as a photographer, like that would be your profession. At what point would AI be not ever making a real life photographer obsolete, but maybe the editing or certain things where it's just kind of like, oh well, you don't need me, you can just do it yourself. Or like coming from an artist standpoint, like I need to get headshots right now, like so. We'll do that soon, and but like moving more into like an artist thing, how can an artist maybe do something affordable? Like, can you give like examples of like different tiers of what you see of like, you know, a phone camera, and then like just you showing up with a camera, and then you doing it in like a studio, like completely like controlled shoot? Like, what are some different examples of something an artist can do?
I mean, I guess it depends on the budget too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, phones are easy. I am the first to say don't use your phone
Yeah,
for photos.
that's what I was wondering.
But like I think we talked about this on, was it Michelle's podcast, where it's like if you're at a show, you could record yourself with your phone to have content for social media because it's available. But
the best camera that you have is the one that you have with you.
yeah,
And normally it's this
that's
one.
true.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
actually,
better
you're
than
right.
nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and the difference in like if you do a shoot outside, I love shooting at golden hour. I just that's it, whether it's like morning golden hour or evening golden hour, like it's just the best lighting. You don't have all the harsh shadows, but the perk of a studio is you
have complete control.
Yeah, complete control over the lighting, over the weather. Like you don't, if a hurricane hits, you can still have a roof over your head to take photos. But I don't know. From an artist standpoint, I guess it depends on what do you need these photos for? Do you just need them for social media? Because maybe it would be better to just use a phone. I would rather take photos for people, but to use, and then they can use them long term too. You could do a 2-hour shoot, change outfits multiple times, and then have stuff to use for the next year even. I mean,
I don't know about you, but the thing that drives me crazy is, your cell phone takes good videos, especially if you're just doing it for social media or whatnot. But I have a problem when people walk up to me like, and they look at my DSLR and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's the same thing."
it's not.
It's physically not the same thing because these camera lenses are a lot smaller, so that they can't. Yeah, this does a lot of AI action in the background.
Yeah,
but you can't beat the physics of that bigger lens.
Letting in more light, right?
Letting in more light is just sharper. It's just not the same.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
Yeah, you have a way bigger sensor on the like mirrorless camera or DSLR than you do on this thing. I mean, this thing takes good pictures for social media, but then, okay, so like say you're going to have your photo on a billboard. You don't want a phone photo. Like you want a good quality camera so that you can blow it up really big without it like just getting all pixely and looking like crap. So that would be an instance where you would want to spend a little extra money and have a good quality camera to take the photo.
And if somebody like me, a media outlet or a publicist, asks you for a photo, please do not download it from Instagram and send it to us.
Right.
A lot of artists do that, and then it's like, I'm trying to use this on a big poster, and it's just going to be bad.
Yep.
It's going to be bad. Again, there's some AI workarounds for that, but it does a lot of softening and stuff. It's not like a really sharp picture.
Yeah. A lot of times you can tell when it's AI just based on the skin. Like it just, I mean, it looks okay from a distance, but like, I like to pixel peep and then it just goes downhill.
Pixel peep? That's when you just like zoom in.
When you zoom in really far. So like in Lightroom, I'll like zoom in and I'm like, why is this so blurry? And I'm like, oh, because I'm like 800 times zoom right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, so I guess, do you have a preference of like which one do you like to do? Like I know you said like studio or outdoors. If an artist came to you, let's just say I came to you, like are you like, oh, I can't wait to get in the studio and do this crazy thing, or like, oh, I have this location at this like outdoor spot? Like
I would rather shoot on a location. Studios can be fun, but I had access to studios when I was still a student at Daytona State, but now I don't have access to that. So if I needed a studio to shoot in, I would have to rent a space, which would then in turn make whatever I have to charge a client more, which could make me lose the client. But I don't know. I like outside shots. I guess I prefer outdoors, but I don't have that much studio experience. But depending on the shoot, like headshots, I have my backdrop and stuff that's more of like a studio kind of.
And I guess too, still. Like gear. Like you have to own the lighting. Like, do you own like lighting and like the stands and whatnot?
I do. I have some of it. There's always more gear that I want, but it is so expensive too that it's like if I had like 10 people that were like, we want this type of shoot, I might be like, okay, I'll go ahead and buy that gear. But if I have one person,
right.
And actually when I got my headshot set up, it's something that I can take to people's offices and homes. That way I don't have to bring them to my house or whatever. I had bought that because I had all these realtors that were like, do you do headshots? And I was like, I can. So I ordered it and nobody booked it for months.
No.
And I was like, are you
It'll catch
kidding
on.
me?
Yeah.
I'm like, eventually I'll use it. But it was like, I didn't have to spend that money at that point. But I thought like, oh, I'll get all these clients. No. So
It's kind of like music, huh? When somebody
Oh,
wants you
yeah.
to do a big venue and you're like,
I need
I
to
got
buy
like,
like all these speakers
yeah.
and stuff like
Yep.
that, and then you're just doing small stuff. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you know what? I really need to get new headshots because like all the ones I have, like I had shorter hair in, so like I you know, like that kind of matters, I guess. And so I'm like thinking of ideas and stuff. Do you like when an artist comes to you with like basically it all planned out, or do you want to collaborate?
Either way, if somebody knows exactly what they want, I can work with that. Or if they're like, I don't really know what I want, here's what I think I need. And then I can be like, okay, we'll do that. And we'll also do these just in case these might work better or in addition to what you need. And even like when it comes to headshots, I've done headshots before where it was at the beach. So this realtor, she was going to use them for her real estate advertising, but she didn't want it so like formal and like not professional looking, but she didn't want it so formal, like in a studio or with a backdrop. She wanted the beach as her background. But it is nice if you can have like fun lifestyle shots like that, but then also have at least one or two with a backdrop. Because like you say, when you need photos for your media stuff, it's easier to cut people out when they have a plain backdrop against them.
Right.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is I tell artists all the time, like, I need to cut this out for the poster because I'm fitting like 3 or 4 artists on the poster, and they send me this thing where it's like they're in a jungle wearing green.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they have that color cast on them too sometimes. So then you have to also fix that if they're going on a poster with other people, because when all the photos weren't taken at the same place, now they
Yeah,
don't
I
look
can't even imagine
cohesive.
that.
You
So
gotta
Yeah,
adjust the
it's true.
lighting on every
Yeah.
So
photo.
there's a lot of stuff that people don't really realize when they see a good graphic, or a good photograph, just like, wow, I didn't realize they really had to dig in that photo and like get all that harsh lighting out or whatever it may be,
Yep.
Yeah, and there's always those photos where people have like a shadow across their face or light across their face, and it just drives you insane because you're trying to match,
Yeah.
with the rest of the skin and
Oh,
the rest of
yeah.
everybody else. And that's one thing that I will spend hours on, and just like, please just take a picture with your phone or do something.
Yeah,
'cause this
yeah,
is
yeah.
not gonna work for me.
Yep.
But yeah, so
Have you ever had to call anybody back and be like, we have to do it again? We have to do that shoot again?
I think it was actually a video shoot I had to do that for, but it was a house,
really?
so it didn't matter. Like
Oh, yeah.
it was really just like, and it was actually, was that one a model home? I think it was a model home too. So it wasn't even like a homeowner had to like change their schedule. I just went back the next day because the model homes are always open. But I think photo shoot wise, I also overshoot. So
she always gives me her number count.
Oh,
poor
yeah. I've heard you
Johnny.
say
Every
that.
time I give him his cameras back, he's just like guessing what number it is, and I'm like, add a comma to that.
What's like wow. What's like a rough estimate for like a, I don't know, like a 2-hour event or something like that?
Ooh.
Or whatever you normally do.
And it depends too. So if it's like a music show,
In the millions.
it used to be like like who was it? Was it probably one of Becca's shows? I had probably 1,200 photos, and I was like, oh god.
And do you just like go, like, do you just like select all the files and just like click through and you're like, no, yes.
Yeah, I do. So now I used to put everything into Lightroom, and now I'm like, okay, I can't do that anymore. So I'll go through all the photos first before I even put them into edit. Because if there's like people blinking or just, weird look on their face.
Shirts
or,
open.
Yeah, double chin, like any. Taylor's going to kill you. But anything like that, I'm like, you know what? I have all these other photos from around the same moment that it's not like I'm missing out on a good shot by deleting those. Because I know with AI, you can like open people's eyes and do all this weird stuff now. So it's like, I know that's possible, but I also don't want to do too much extra.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't want it to look
You
fake.
still want to look natural.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But that tool, let me tell you, as crazy as that sounds, that tool is a lifesaver.
Are you
yeah.
serious?
Yeah. Because
I
you
would
could have
be
a great
so
shot, and it'd just be like it's a like a concert venue. You can't like
Yeah.
redo that
Go
shot.
back up there.
Yeah.
Keep singing.
Yeah.
Get the band back.
Mhm.
But Wow. I guess it must be good. I guess it must be really intelligent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it takes.
I don't want to
tries.
see myself.
Sometimes it
with
takes a
that.
couple tries, and it's getting, they're getting to where they can change the color of your shirt and
Whoa.
all this kind of different stuff.
Wow, we've come a long way since Microsoft Paint. 'Cause I was just thinking I could just like drag the color in and it'd change. But that's cool. That's cool. Definitely, it's something that an artist like needs a lot, and you do need high quality stuff because let's just say for events that I was just playing, they're like, all right, send some headshots, and I'm like, well, I have to send these right here because these are the higher quality ones. I don't know if they're doing, yeah. I don't know if it's just gonna go on a little pamphlet that's this big, if it's going on Instagram that's this big, or they're blowing it up on like a marquee or something like that. Like depending, that's more rare, but sometimes they'll do that and you're like, oh, I wish I sent a better picture, know? So I guess like the thing is like always do a high quality shoot as much as you can, right?
Yeah. And even, so I actually was just talking to my mom about this the other day. People offer like mini sessions, and a lot of times you'll see them at like Christmas or whatever. But even if someone offers a mini session and it's 15 minutes and people think, oh, that's not enough time, you can get so many photos in 15 minutes that if you didn't have a ton of extra money to book an hour or 2 hour long shoot, you could do one of those and then get just as many photos as you might need for something small like that, or to have a headshot in your library to use next time you need it.
Do you do couples stuff still?
I do. So I don't do it as much.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like now everybody's like, oh, real estate, music, whatever. But then
we have some guests.
Oh, do we have guests?
We have some guests. They're checking out the space.
But yeah, I feel like it's mainly people I know. Like people that I'm friends with are like, oh, like I'm doing Christmas pictures for a friend of mine next week. I was
wondering, yeah.
So
like Jordan and I.
Yeah.
Couple photos.
Can we do some like awkward ones where you're like on the swing set or something like that?
We do have one in the big chair at.
That's a cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool picture.
Anniversary photo shoot.
Oh yeah, we should. You know what we should do is do a luncheonette photo shoot.
We have that in the books.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have that on the books.
Yeah. Definitely. And then how do you like to be in front of the camera?
Oh, I hate it. I hate it so bad. And you would think that as much time as I spend behind the camera, like kind of coaching people and how to pose or what I want them to do, you'd think I'd be better at it myself. No. I get in front of the camera. I'm like, what do I do with my arms? Do my legs look weird? Am I like sitting hunched over? Like, it's so bad.
You would have done so awesome at the Josie Music Awards. I tried so hard to get you up on that stage. And
if you won and bring her up there, that would be awesome.
I would not. I would be going up barefoot because those shoes were killing me.
Yes, that was so funny. Hey, we never really talked about that. I wonder if we should talk about like the whole experience. I know we're talking about Lauren's photography, but I mean, that was awesome.
That was so
That was
cool.
a great night. And
a great trip to Nashville all the way around. I think we did.
It was so good from the moment I got there after I got the parking ticket, because the first thing
that was like the first 30 minutes you were there.
First thing I did in Nashville was get a parking ticket, which is the third time I've had truck problems in Nashville. One time I blew a tire out. One time my transmission blew out. Or alternator.
Nashville does not like your truck.
No, it doesn't. So
you just need to rent a car or something.
And then got a parking ticket immediately outside of the Gibson music store. And I'm just not used to being in a city where they have parking meters, and you have to like look for a parking meter and not just walk right into the building. And they got us. And anyway, but after that, the trip was just perfect. I mean, like your event was super smooth.
Yeah, we had a good event. We had a lot of people there, a lot of artists at the Nash House. I think we're going to be going back there in the spring. So, Jordan, if you want to come back, we can do that. I know Lauren took a bunch of great pictures of the whole event. It was just amazing. Normally, I'm the one doing the emceeing, photo taker, bathroom attendant.
Frees you up to do whatever.
Normally, I'm doing that. So, it's always nice to have a photographer. And if you're doing events and you think that I'll just do it myself, you might want to rethink that. Whatever money you're going to pay, it's going to be worth it, I promise. But yeah, it was a great event, and we ate a ton of good food.
Oh yeah, Loveless Cafe was my favorite.
Yeah.
Loveless
That was
Cafe was
that was
good.
absolutely incredible. I had the burger. It was like pimento cheese and fried green tomato on it. Like that was
Yeah.
the best burger I could have ever had. It could have been.
I think I weighed like 5 more pounds after that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Right.
I was hoping my tux was going to fit for this.
And then the event. I mean, the Grand Ole Opry was beautiful. I mean, just an honor being there. It was so cool. Like seeing everyone dressed up going in, knowing like the reverence of like we are about to go into probably the most important place of country music.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and you can kind of tell everyone was aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first time for me. So
It's the first time for me in the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
I go
Me
to Nashville
too.
a lot. It's just because I'm always
Yeah.
doing shows
Yeah,
and stuff like that. I
I've
never
never-
had time to do the
right.
tourist stuff.
I never been there, so it was. I did the Country Music Hall of Fame. That was like the most touristy thing you could do there. But like, never the Grand Ole Opry, and it was just amazing. And everyone was so nice. You know, got to meet so many people, and it was cool. Like the production of the show was great, and it inspired me too. So now I'm like, oh man, what can I do? My next thing is I want to maybe get nominated. I want to do a Josie Award kind of deal.
And we had a lot of artists that we know and work with, Francesca Tarantino being one of them that won. So
Yeah.
it was good to see friends and music family there at the Opry. For sure.
I know, yeah. And then afterwards, of course, me and Patrick went out. There was nothing open still on a Sunday night.
Yeah,
and,
even in Nashville, don't plan on being too many places open at 1 a.m. or whatever. On a
and
Sunday
then
night.
so we just had Taco Bell in our very nice suits and hats, and I'll never forget that. And it was great. And they have a stage in Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Like that is the most Nashville thing I've ever seen. Like
Our friends Taylor and Teasley and Tori Hughes play there quite a bit.
I mean, there's only one in the world that has that, and it's that one, right?
Yeah,
I mean, there's no way another
It's
Taco
Music
Bell.
City. You got to have a stage on the Taco
Right.
Bell.
When you
Taco
said
Bell.
Taco Bell, they're like, oh, yeah, they play over at Taco Bell. I was like, it must be a different chain. It's not like the Taco Bell.
It's the Taco
It
Bell.
is. But
And then we had a good experience when we walked back. We ran across two ladies that went to our show at Nash House.
yeah, we got stopped on Broadway, and these two ladies said, hey.
1:30 in the a.m.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, they were like, we've been around here all weekend, and you had the best show.
Yeah.
They said they remembered me, and they remembered specifically, wow, the artists that you brought were like the best on the road, on the street, on Broadway. So
Yeah, and I had a couple other groups on Broadway bring that up too. So I think that was the highlight of the night for me. That and what's it called? Sephora?
is that the makeup place?
What's the
or
makeup
something?
place?
Oh yeah,
Did you
Why
Sephora.
are you
yeah.
looking at me with like?
Well,
Well, I'm like, I don't remember.
Sephora.
I don't
Sephora.
remember a Sephora over there, but
yeah,
I'm at least aware.
it's
where
off of Beach Street. It's on the where
Off
we
of
got
Beach Street
where
in
we-
Nashville.
It's right next to where
way off of Beach Street.
Tacavas.
Tacovas? Yeah.
Tacovas.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Y'all went in there?
I had to go in there. Yeah, my
Had
mother
to.
was with me. She needed some new lipstick,
Oh,
and I had no idea
that's
what
so
it was.
nice.
And I walked in, and I don't know if you ever saw that. If you ever watched Beautiful, what's that with Pretty Woman? Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Pretty Woman, where like the guy walks in and like nobody paid attention to her, so she walks back, and the guy like snapped his finger, and like a million people were coming out, like bringing out dresses and clothes and stuff like that. I had that experience, except I didn't have to say anything. I walked in, I said, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah.
I need something like this, the same color. I had like 5 customer service people walking out.
That is so funny.
Literally 2 managers and like 3 people working there, and they were like bringing me all these colors. I'm like, I just need to be close to this. I don't care what the name is,
Yeah.
what it is. And they're like, oh, we got it. And they didn't have it. They didn't have that color.
They didn't?
At first, and they were like, you know what? There's one more place in the back that we can check. And come to find out, they had like 2 tubes of whatever that lip gloss liner, whatever it was.
I don't know. It's
But
so
best
funny.
customer service I've ever had anywhere.
Wow.
That's
That's
amazing.
amazing. One time, not one time, it's actually often, I'll have to go into Ulta for makeup for my wife, and she'll be like, they're going to tell you what's in the bag. Do you know about this?
Huh?
She'll do an online order, and they'll first of all, you got to show ID. Like she has to say it is my husband with this name, and
I think we
he
need
will
to
be
do an
here at
Ulta
this time.
visit
It's
for our
crazy.
podcast.
Like they're like, are there people just stealing makeup like from these
There
things?
is,
Anyway,
there
I guess.
is.
But anyway,
It's
then
expensive.
then they open the bag for you and they go, okay, she got the blank this and and then she got this and she's showing me everything. I'm like, this means nothing to me. Just give me what's in the bag. I don't care.
I've literally been into Ulta like 2 times because I get so overwhelmed, and they immediately are like, how can I help you? And I'm like, I don't know what I need. I don't know what half the stuff in the store like does. I'm like, I don't know. So then I just don't go because then I'm overwhelmed.
Right. Yeah, I can't imagine. I actually dislike Ulta because of the lights. The lighting in there, I don't know what it is. Just that fluorescent lighting just drives me crazy.
Fluorescent lighting can be rough.
They're awful.
It can be
Yep.
rough to take pictures in too.
Oh, true. Oh, you just brought it back. Cool.
Yeah.
Now we're back on photography. That was good. Is there has ever an artist or a client been like, we're gonna shoot here, and then you get there and you're like, this is bad?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What's
Especially
something we
if
can
Happens all the time with us.
yeah.
What's something an artist can avoid then?
Oh, God.
So I guess fluorescent lighting is one, probably.
Yeah, fluorescent lighting isn't good. I do a lot of freelance photography for the college. Like they've hired me on like as a contractor, and one of the buildings, the Hosini Center, the big one where you walk in, it's like the fountain in the middle. That room is so yellow, and the whole ballroom is yellow. And I'm like, it looks really nice, like for the guests coming in.
From
but
the
I'm
naked
like,
eye, yeah.
Naked eye, it looks great. But I put my camera up, and I'm like, oh, like I'm gonna have to
Weird.
white balance it because it just gets so warm, and then it throws people's skin tones off, and yeah, it turns into a hot mess. I don't really know how. I guess something an artist could look out for. Like if you're in a building and they have you in front of windows performing, that's awful because all that backlight is
just gonna be
coming
silhouette.
in. Yep,
You're
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be so blown out, and then like you would be so dark, and I'm sure you could probably fix it a lot in post, but it wouldn't look
Wow.
great.
Yeah, we were in that Streamline when we do shows at the little bar with that window behind it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta wait for the sun to get on the other side of the building before we start taking pictures because it's just gonna be bad.
Even like Ormond Garage, that spot they put y'all in
Yeah,
that
I remember
corner.
that. Yeah.
It's like that's why I wanted those lights on you because the windows
Right.
behind you, it's like I can really only get you from one angle without the light shining through like crazy. And the silhouettes can be cool for certain shots, but obviously you want to see your face for most of the shots. So
That's true.
Unless you're me.
You know, one time I had a photographer come out to this show, and it was 1 year. It was awesome. The next year, same event, and the stage was completely different. It was like a little smaller, and I was just like, you know what? I just got here. I just saw the stage. Maybe don't come because I'm sorry. I'll still give you some money, but it's like, I'm sorry, don't come. Has that ever happened to you before where it's like something changed? Or because like, you know, sometimes like when you get like an event or weather or something like that, how bad is it when people are like, we can't do this anymore?
yeah.
It seems like I felt really bad, but it was like, it was hours before, like they were from Orlando, and I was just like, have you left yet? No, don't worry about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've had like, especially with real estate, if it's raining, I can't fly my drone in the rain.
true.
So I could shoot photos if it's like just drizzling a little bit. I can still put a cover over my camera, shoot, and then just sky replace it so it doesn't look like it's raining. So I can do that. But so many of my listings, they want drone shots. And I'm like, okay, if it's raining at all,
Yeah.
I can't. If the wind is like way too bad, I'm not risking my drone. So sometimes I'll have to go back. Like sometimes I offer to go do interior and exterior from the ground, and then I'll come back the next day when the weather calms down and do the drone. Or they'll just decide we'll just do it all in the same day. Because sometimes you have to charge that extra travel fee if it's not ready. And you have to go back twice. But yeah, I guess even like portrait shoots, I guess I've never had anything really canceled that I wouldn't go, like it wouldn't be rescheduled. Like I did have a shoot the other day that got completely canceled, and I'm not sure. That was more of a budget thing where they agreed to it, and then they're like, just kidding. like the day before. So I was like,
The couple
okay.
broke. The
That's
couple
always-
broke up. It was a couple shoot, and they broke up, and they're like, "Well, we paid for it. We still got to take these dang pictures."
I've seen horror stories of that where like
No.
wedding photographers,
No.
and they haven't delivered the gallery yet, and the couple already got a divorce. And then it's like, what do you do? Because the couple's already paid. Like, because with wedding photographers, you pay everything in full, like by the day of. And then I'm like, your marriage didn't even last long enough for the photographer to finish editing them.
I've
I'm
never
like,
heard of that.
That's when you do like a little divorce, like a little video for your divorce party.
oh yeah, yep.
Oh my gosh!
Look at
You're just going to the courtroom.
look at this mistake I made.
I guess you could book another shoot with them because have you seen the trash the dress shoots that divorced women will put their dress back on and
yeah.
just trash it or
That's
whatever?
pretty funny.
I'm like, that would be a quick back to back, but I don't really shoot weddings though either, so I don't have that headache.
That's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
It's
That's a lot of stress on like maybe the most important day of someone's life.
Yeah,
You know, and you're the person they're gonna yell at.
exactly.
know.
Yeah,
Kate-
you have one chance to get some of those
Uh-huh.
shots, and if you miss it, it's gone.
Catering weddings, photoing weddings. It's tough.
Oh yeah.
Tough.
I've
business
had to
be in.
do like sound at people's weddings before. Luckily, it was like people I was close with, and one was even a family member. But they were doing something. It was like a last dance. Or it was like their first dance, but it was the last event of the night, and no one was there. Have y'all ever heard of this before?
Oh,
It was
where
like
they do like a private last dance?
private last dance. I
Yes,
didn't know
yep.
that, and that was the word that I didn't. No one said that. That I was just like, all of a sudden, everyone's there, and it was just like, all right, everyone, thanks for coming. Boom, hit the song, and they were like, no, it's just supposed to be us. I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
I never heard of that. You know?
I thought you said you're gonna be already plugging the soundboard and speakers and be like, "Peace out."
We're done. No, it was like just them and me doing their last dance, and I'd never heard of that.
Yeah.
So
I
I didn't ruin the night or anything, but it was just like, oh, I did that wrong. Whoops, and I don't know.
We did one of my friends is a wedding coordinator, and I assisted her a lot last year. And most of the weddings had one of those, but it was always like pulling teeth because it's a barn venue. So the reception's in this barn, and then you're trying to get all the guests out of the barn to set up for like a sparkler exit.
Right.
So we're
yeah.
getting that set up while the couple has their private last dance. But like then people think that that's the time to go talk to the bride and groom, and I'm like, please stop talking.
Oh,
Get outside so they can have their dance. It's like herding cattle. You can't. That was interesting.
So you don't promote yourself as a wedding photographer?
No. I've done so. Two of my friends, they eloped last year on the beach down near New Smyrna. It was my husband was the officiant. I was the photographer. It was the two
Wow.
of them, one of her friends, and her mom and stepdad. So it was like tiny. It was at sunrise on the beach. Like I was okay with that. I enjoyed that. And then I'm actually supposed to shoot a courthouse elopement for a friend from middle school next month. So
I guess
have
that is so much
but
more low key.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not even having a
The
wedding.
pressure's off.
Yeah, there's
Exactly.
whatever you want, we'll pose and get it if you need,
And it's easier too when like I've known the people because I'm
Mhm.
like I can't imagine trying to shoot a wedding for strangers because you don't know the family dynamics, you don't know everybody's name, you don't know how so and so is related to so and so. Like when we got married, I made a list, and we only had like 10 people there, and I made a list of each row had different names of what shots we needed. So all the photographer had to do was like yell out the names, and they would go line up because I'm like, I want to make this easy. She doesn't know us. We were out of state, so I'm like, but.
I'm laughing and grinning because I see like Uncle Bob that everybody hates, but yeah, he's like in every picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because he knows
Oh, yeah.
that very fact. So he's like, every time somebody's getting a picture, he's like photo bombing. I can see that at
Exactly.
some weddings. Yeah. That's terrible. So you talked about wedding photography and how you don't care for doing that too often. What's your favorite thing to shoot? Funerals or?
It's not funny. I shot a memorial service just a couple months ago.
Really?
Yeah, for Johnny.
I don't
It
think I've
was-
ever seen a photographer at a memorial service.
No.
I would
I
say
haven't either.
It wasn't like a funeral like where they have the casket and the pallbearers. It wasn't like that. Like it was at a like garden venue
Mhm.
and everybody ate and got together and like the pastor talked about, because he knew the girl personally, so he talked about her, and they left time for the family and friends if they wanted to come up and share stories. But it was like, I wish I had a bigger lens for that one, because it's so weird. I'm trying to like hide and take photos of people in like happy moments, not people crying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be that person where like you're bawling your eyes out and I'm going to take your picture. No. Like, but people laughing, people hugging, but it's like, it was so weird because I didn't know the family personally. So it wasn't like I was just the family friend there with a camera.
Such a tender moment.
Yeah.
And then you're there. Yeah.
And I'm like,
People reliving all those memories and stuff like that.
exactly. So that was, I wish I had a longer lens, because I could have stayed farther back and gotten probably more candid shots, but there was no expectation of me to get a certain number of photos that day. But that was...
What were you shooting with, like an 18 pancake lens?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
No, I think I just had my 24-70, because that was...
It's a really short...
Yeah.
So you'd have to literally be like right up
On
on
'em.
somebody.
Yeah, hold it like...
Yeah, the drone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be horrible.
Over the casket.
Yeah.
the camera like straight down.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That would be horrible.
Oh man, that should be a movie.
Yeah.
The funeral photographer.
Yeah.
It's like an indie flick.
Yeah, it sounds like a very indie
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I mean, but they used to do that back in the day. They used to take pictures of people in the casket and like
Yeah, and actually, let's see. We've been going for a little while now, but I remember like I grew up in church, so like I felt, and I had a huge family, so I felt like people are always dying. And I went to a million funerals as a kid, and I was never fazed by it, like open casket. And I remember when I was younger, a person died, and they were like, "It's not going to be open casket, is it?" Like that was a huge deal. And now, do they just not do that anymore?
Probably not the last funeral I went to. I've been to a lot of funerals too, but one of them I went to for my family in West Virginia. It was open casket, and I don't know. I feel like a lot of young people now are getting cremated, whereas it's the older generation that wants to be buried.
Yeah, because a full-on funeral is
so expensive.
Yeah.
Yep. It's
So
insane.
You can get cremated for like $300. And I
Oh,
think
really? That's it?
Yeah, and
Like,
I think
shoot.
a full-on, open casket and all that, you're getting in like 10 grand or something like that.
Probably
Oh
even
my
more than that. Now. It's
gosh.
crazy.
I didn't know all that.
Yeah.
And then the headstones are expensive. I'm like,
yeah.
throw me in the oven and sprinkle me somewhere. I don't know.
So Jordan, if you get feeling sick and we start up a bonfire,
Yeah, I'll start getting a little weary here. I have specific orders to my family. When I die, burn my guitar, my acoustic guitar, in a separate fire. Because they're like, you can't take that to a cremation place. But no, just you burn it. And then mix it in with me,
that's a good
and I just
idea.
want to do that. I've had that thought like my whole life. So I think I own the guitar I want to do that with now. So I know it's morbid or whatever, but
No, that's a good idea.
but I thought about that. Like that would be the most special to me. But yeah, mix me up,
My
No, that's
family
good.
mix me up with my Martin, and that's a song. And that's
there you
a
go.
really bad song, but yeah.
My mom jokes because she wants to be cremated when she dies, and she wants to have like a party, like, a happy party. She doesn't want it to be a funeral where everybody's sad and crying. But then she bought these little bottles, and she's like, I started my collection for my funeral. So she wants her ashes put in all these different bottles and given out as like a party favor for people to go travel somewhere and like spread her ashes wherever they
everywhere.
travel to. Yeah. And I'm like, it's a great idea. But she sent me a picture the other day of these bottles, and I'm like, Mom, it's too early to be buying those
moms
bottles
are so
yet.
morbid like that. Moms love doing that.
That's
Moms
kinda
love being
weird
like,
and
you're gonna
cool at
miss
the
me when
same
I'm
time.
gone. Yeah. Moms love doing that kind of stuff.
now they can make a diamond out of you too.
Oh my gosh.
Your carbon.
Wow.
That's awesome.
This is amazing.
I don't know who wants that. I don't know how much it costs.
Not
but,
me.
If you want to go a little bougie, you can
Mm-mm.
go a little bougie.
Mm-mm.
I don't know who I'd want the diamond to go to anyway, so.
I want to be made into coffee grounds and you drink me.
It's like, what is it? Willie Nelson's roll me up and smoke me when I'm going.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I'm just such a big coffee guy. Just drink me when I'm dead.
There was one TV show where they were at this grill and somebody accidentally cleaned it and like cleaned all the ashes in the grill. And I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
that's horrible. So they
my
took the
dad.
urn and they like dumped this. The the remains of in this urn into the grill. It'll be
Oh
like,
my.
no, we have ashes for the grill. I
good.
can't remember what show it was, but it's a little sad. But I can see me doing that. Like, just put me in the grill. I'll be fine.
Yeah, it's perfect for you.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
for me,
but,
right. Yeah, you're always cooking. Yeah, always.
I don't know if anybody wants to
Still-
eat a hot dog after
Still
that.
in the
but-
kitchen with us. Still in our hearts and in our kitchens.
Yeah.
Too, yeah. So.
And
In
on
our
the grill
grills,
marks on the
yeah.
on the hot dogs.
Wow. Wow, that could be all this could be a really bad country song like I'm the grill marks on her steak still, you know.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen the AI country songs?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
They're rough.
Good.
They're rough, but no. Well, this has been a great fun. We got to do more of these podcasts where it's just the three of us.
Yeah,
we
for
have
sure.
to really make this happen because this is really fun. We get to pick on each other. Y'all get to know us a little bit more. You got to know the beautiful woman behind the camera and
Nicest
now
thing
in front
I've
of the
ever heard.
camera.
It's probably the nicest thing he's ever said to
Nicest
me.
thing I've ever heard him say.
Hey
Our-
guys,
our-
you know if I'm picking on you, I love you.
Our
but if
group
I'm
text
nice,
is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor Teasley, a good friend of mine, we always pick on each other hard. And like, she was telling me today, she's like, I don't think a lot of people think we actually like each other.
Well, I have an interesting story. There was this old guy that used to go to my church, and he was the same way. He would just like razz on you all the time. And he unfortunately passed away. And right before he passed away, he started getting a little nice. And like,
wow.
yeah. And it was like, I didn't like it. You know, he started to have kind of like dementia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got nice. And I was like, it was a sign of him not really being all there, that he wasn't picking on me all the time.
Yeah,
And I was like,
I
oh,
can
that's
see
what's
that.
sad, is like he's like drifting away, you know. But that it is kind of fun to like have that relationship with someone where it's like I wouldn't just like be razzing on anybody. You
Yeah,
have to be
yeah.
close enough, you know.
Yeah. And that's
So.
what I say. That if I'm rising on you, that means I'm close to you. If I'm being really nice, you're pretty much dead to me.
Whole lot of death in this conversation
Oh
today.
my gosh.
We went from photos to death and
Wow.
back to death. So any last words as a photographer, Miss Lauren Lewis?
Book me if you want photos.
Hook you up
Yeah.
with
What's the best way to book you? Would it be through Instagram, or like do you have an email?
MySpace.
Yeah.
I was at the age where I just missed MySpace.
Oh, you missed out then.
Yeah.
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 Oh, it was superior.
Yeah, Instagram's probably the best place. Lauren Lewis Media. My email is laurenlewismedia@gmail.com. Very original, but
Nice.
that's probably the best way.
She's so creative.
Is that what your business is called too?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Lauren Lewis Media, probably can Google her too and get her information.
Yeah, that nice website you made me.
Nice website I made you. Yeah. All those pictures on that were taken by me, just so you know.
Oh my God.
She's like, I'm not putting my pictures up there. No, they were all 100% her, way better than I can do. Like we just did a show last Friday that I took the pictures of them, and I was like, this is bad. This is like really bad. I'm glad nobody's paying for this.
That's funny.
So
They
I
were
did,
bad.
I did miss Lauren.
They turned out good.
I did miss Lauren, but yeah. So book her for concerts, shows, realty, apparently funerals. She does those
Yeah.
as well.
And I will travel.
just
so-
not weddings.
Okay.
Yeah, no weddings.
She will travel for a good funeral, but
Good funeral.
good funeral, good food, good funeral.
Oh, yeah.
But all right, guys. I guess we're done. Well, we'll see you next time right here on the Luncheonette here at Southern Fellow.